It's Embarkation Day. We're setting sail on Royal Caribbean's newest and the world's largest cruise ship, Star of the Seas. Over the next 7 nights, we'll explore incredible ports of call, including Coco Cay, St. Thomas, and St. Martin. On board, we'll dive into all the food, the shows, the drinks, and the activities this record-breaking ship has to offer. And along the way, we'll find out, is Star of the Seas even better than our favorite ship, Icon of the Seas? I'm Travis.
And I'm Nicole.
Let's get wanderlust. Star of the Seas sails out of Port Canaveral in Florida, and we're from Dallas in Texas. So we had to get there. So in 2 minutes or less, we're going to tell you about our travel day to Florida and before we got on this amazing ship. We flew from Dallas to Orlando on Southwest Airlines. When we landed in Orlando, we rented a car and we drove to our hotel. We normally recommend getting a hotel the day before your cruise, especially if you're flying in, just to make sure you don't miss the ship. We were staying at Port Orleans French Quarter on Disney property. You may be asking, why did we stay at Disney? And why didn't we go to the hotel at the port? Well, it was the same price, and there's a really cool thing about when you book a Disney hotel. You get access to their water parks on check-in day. So that's exactly what we did. After we threw down our bags at French Quarter, we went to Typhoon Lagoon. And we hadn't been to Typhoon Lagoon in several years, and we got to ride Misadventure Falls as one of the rides that was brand new to us. We also explored this theme park, went through the lazy river, and rode all kinds of different water slides. It poured on us like it does in Florida. We got drenched, not only from the water rides, but also from the rain. We went back to French Quarter and tried some beignets at a little restaurant, and then explored the overall hotel grounds before going over to Disney Springs. At Disney Springs, we did some shopping, and eventually we had dinner at Everglazed, which is a donut shop at Disney Springs. It seems weird to have dinner there, but they have chicken and donuts, and they were amazing. Make sure you try those, especially the hot honey chicken and donuts. We loved them. The next morning we got up, we got in our rental car, and we drove all the way to Port Canaveral, and then turned in our rental car, which is off of Astronaut Boulevard, and then took a lift over to the port. Royal Caribbean uses Terminal 1 at Port Canaveral for Star of the Seas, and let's talk about Embarkation. Hopefully I did that in 2 minutes or less.
Before we get started, there are a few things that you should know, especially if you've never cruised with Royal Caribbean before. First is going to be download the Royal Caribbean app. This is what you will use prior to your cruise to check in, book shows, make reservations, and once you get on the ship, you will use it for your daily cruise planner and checking out everything that's going on throughout the day. You are also able to check into your cruise 45 days prior to your sailing. This is where you will select a boarding time. The sooner you check in, the sooner available boarding time you may get. And this is where you will enter in your documentation for Royal Caribbean. Some of the documents that may be able to be used are most commonly a passport or a driver's license and birth certificate, but please double check the Royal Caribbean website to make sure that those documents are eligible for your sailing. We always recommend purchasing your excursions and drink packages prior to boarding the ship, as they are almost always cheaper than what you will find once you do board. And another cool thing to keep in mind is that Royal Caribbean does allow for price matching, so we were actually able to price match this sailing quite a few times before we set sail and get the cheaper price. Royal Caribbean uses Terminal 1 in Port Canaveral for Star of the Seas, and the boarding process was seamless. We arrived at around 11 a.m., and the first thing that you will do is drop off your bags with the porters, and then you will go through security. After you go through security, they will then check your documentation to make sure that everything matches, and after that, you will be free to board. At some points, you may have to wait for them to call your boarding group, but on this particular day, there was no wait and you could walk right on the ship.
It's Embarkation Day. At 11 o'clock in the morning, we're in Port Canaveral in Terminal 1, getting ready to get on Star of the Seas. We're already through security, we're already through all the documentation checkpoints, and there's no wait. They're telling us to get on the ship as soon as possible. So we're not going to argue. We're just going to go get on the ship right now. Right, Nicole?
Let's go.
Getting on the ship in Port Canaveral is pretty quick and painless normally. We've never really had an issue getting on the ships here, especially for Star of the Seas and our last time we sailed out of this port, Utopia of the Seas. We're pretty much on right away. As we're getting on the ship, here's a few facts about Star of the Seas. Star of the Seas has 2,805 staterooms, which can hold 5,610 guests at double occupancy, but the actual capacity of the ship is much closer to 7,000 because most rooms hold more than 2 people. Star of the Seas is roughly 250,000 gross tons, which makes it the world's largest cruise ship. This ship is 1,200 feet long, 220 feet wide, and it was built in Meyer, Turku in Turku, Finland. Star sailed its maiden voyage on August 31st of 2025, and the godmother of Star of the Seas is Kelly Girardi, who's an astronaut and social media influencer. On Embarkation Day, we're going to go through all of our must-dos for Embarkation Day, and we're going to show you everything, or at least try to show you a ton of stuff this ship has to offer. So let's get on the ship and let's get this vacation started. So we're finally on board, and Star of the Seas, of course, is gorgeous, just like this one right here. It's Embarkation Day, Nicole. What do we normally do on Embarkation Day as soon as we get on the ship?
It is time. Safety first.
Safety first. We got to catch up with our muster station, which is located where?
Ours is the schooner bar, deck 6.
Yeah, which is right on over that direction. Where do you find that information at?
It is under safety information.
And it's right there, deck 6, schooner bar.
Royal Caribbean app.
We're going to walk over to the schooner bar and take care of the safety drill first before we do anything fun on Star of the Seas. If you're new to cruising, you may be asking, what's a muster drill? And does it go well on hot dogs? Well, it's muster, M-U-S-T-E-R, and not mustard. It's not a condiment. It is the safety drill you have to do before the ship can set sail. Oh,
What?
It's not actually in the schooner bar, it's in the Boleros bar. In this safety drill, they go over how the life vests work, what to do in case of emergency, where your rally station is, and everything else you should know about what to do in an emergency. In the Royal Caribbean app, there is actually a tab for safety. And in this tab, there's a few videos to watch before you get on the ship. So like the night before, or while you're traveling to the port, just open up the app and click on these videos and listen to the horn sound so you're better prepared for what they're going to do or what is expected of you in case of an emergency on board the ship. This is all part of the muster drill. Make sure you take care of this first because you can't have fun until you're safe.
One of the best parts about Royal Caribbean are their shows. This is one of our favorite things and one of the reasons that we love to sail them so much. The shows that are available on Star of the Seas are the AquaTheater show called Torque, which takes place in the Aquadome. Then we have Soul, the ice skating show that takes place in Absolute Zero. And if you are a Back to the Future fan, then you should love the Back to the Future musical that takes place in the Royal Theater. You will usually have a few headliner acts as well. On our cruise, we had a magician and a juggler. And there is always plenty of comedy shows that take place in the Attic venue, which is adults only. These shows are just a few of the highlights, and you cannot miss these on your cruise. A month prior to your sailing, you will be able to reserve these shows in the Royal Caribbean app to ensure that you get the day and the time that you prefer. If you are sailing in September, this means August 1st, you will be able to make reservations. Reservations are always encouraged for these shows. They do open seating to everyone else 15 minutes prior, but to make sure that you don't miss them, make sure you make your reservations.
So we are in Absolute Zero, which is the ice skating rink on board Star of the Seas. It's circular. It's more like a theater and around style. But we're in here because normally on your embarkation day, you would make reservations for all of the shows and events that you want to do. But on this ship, you can make them early. So it's September 7th. We made all of our reservations around August 1st. And that includes the main show here in Absolute Zero. It includes the AquaTheater show. It includes the stage shows like Back to the Future, which we're super excited to see. So just make sure the month prior to your sailing, you make all your reservations to make sure you can see all the shows you want to see. And you don't have to be on the outside looking in. Again, you can always stand in the standby lines as well, but we like to make sure we have reservations. So embarkation must-do number 2 is make reservations for all the shows, and we'll talk about dining later. Nicole, don't you wish you were a teenager again?
No.
No, me neither. But they do have the Teens Club here on Star of the Seas, and it's for ages 13 to 17. And on Embarkation Day, people as old as us can tour these rooms. So we're going to check out Social 220 right now.
Oh, it's cool. I like it.
Yeah. Star of the Seas has a lot to offer for the kids and teens that you're bringing with you, or not bringing with you. For the teens, there is Social 20, which is a teens club located near Absolute Zero on Deck 6. This club is a hangout that offers different things to do for the teens, 13 to 17. As we said as we walked into Social 20, is that on Embarkation Day, there are open houses for all the kids areas, which includes Adventure Ocean, Social 20, and a few others. So if you want to check out what the kids have on the ship, or if you want to make sure that they're right for your kids, make sure you check them out on Embarkation Day. It's normally 10 to 5 or 12 to 5 or 12 to 4, where you can actually tour and see what everything they have to offer inside these really cool kid spaces on board Star of the Seas. Also on Deck 6 is Adventure Ocean, which is where all the other kids get to go. Everything from babies from age 0 all the way up to age 12. In Adventure Ocean, they separate the kids by age group. Adventure Ocean also offers babysitting services. So if you're interested in partying late at night and you have kids with you and you need somebody to watch them, make sure you check out Adventure Ocean so that you can find out what they offer in terms of those babysitting services. As we mentioned when we were talking about Social 20, we like to tour the kids club areas on Embarkation Day because they offer open houses. You can check out these areas and find out what they offer, what type of clubs and activities they do to make sure that they're right for your kids. You can also make sure you get your kids set up and enrolled in all of the programs that they offer in these spaces.
In the main dining room, they offer both traditional and my time dining. Traditional means that you will be seated at the same time at the same table every single evening. And my time dining means that you can make reservations or show up whenever works for you. You can expect theme nights in the main dining room, so you will have a different menu each evening. On day 6, which is one of the formal or dress your best nights, is lobster night, so make sure you do not miss that. The main dining room is open every day for breakfast and dinner, and it is open for lunch on sea days. And on one of your sea days, you can actually even take a tour of the galley, which is something that we have booked as well. It is an extra charge, but we think it's worth it. This is the main dining room on Deck 3. It spans Deck 3, 4, and 5 on Star of the Seas. And on Embarkation Day, we always recommend, even if you have my time dining, to come to the main dining room. Make sure that you have reservations so that you don't have to wait in line. And check out your table. Make sure it's in a spot that you're happy with and that you're going to enjoy for the rest of your cruise. We do not need to do this time because we do have the Ultimate Dining Package and we have reservations for the specialty restaurants, but this is something that we always say you should do on Embarkation Day to make sure you're set for the rest of the cruise.
So it's Embarkation Day. We've already done the muster grill. We've done our reservations for both food and for shows. And we've even explored the open houses in the kids area. Next up, we would normally do the open houses in the gym and the spa. But I know Nicole. Nicole, would you rather go to the gym or would you rather go get a coffee?
I did say that we need to go to the gym this cruise, but let's go get a coffee.
As we walk to the Pearl Cafe to get Nicole her coffee before we continue to the gym, we wanted to talk about the beverage packages that we purchased for this cruise. So Royal Caribbean offers 3 different beverage packages. The first one is the deluxe beverage package, which includes all your alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks. The second one is the refreshment package, which is mostly for non-alcoholic drinks, everything from coffee to mocktails to bottled water to soda, you name it. And then there's the soda package, which just includes soda. So the freestyle machines and glasses of soda from every single bar on board. On this cruise, Nicole purchased the refreshment package, which gives her access to all of the coffees she wants to drink with as many shots of espresso as she wants. I did not get a beverage package because I drink mostly iced tea, and I'm perfectly fine with juices and water on top of that. But we will say that Nicole and I are both Diamond status, and if you didn't know, with Diamond status, you do get 4 free drinks per day as long as they're under $15 a piece. So that is pretty much 8 drinks for between the both of us for every single day of the cruise, and that's way more drinks of alcohol than we typically would ever be able to drink. So a beverage package above the refreshment package really doesn't benefit us. We highly recommend you checking out the beverage packages that Royal Caribbean offers and finding out which one benefits you. And we have a video on our channel that breaks down each and every package available on your cruise so you can find out if it's worth it or not. We're on our way to the gym, but we are going to make another detour. So we did coffee, but now I'm going to show you the Crown Lounge, which if you're not diamond status or above with Royal Caribbean's Crown and Anchor Society, you probably would never get to see inside of here. So we're just going to quickly do a quick glance, see what type of food they have, and then they'll finally get over to the gym. We'll get there eventually, just like in real life. The Crown Lounge is the loyalty lounge on board Star of the Seas. It's located on Deck 6 near the front of the ship, above the Royal Theater. This lounge is for diamond status and above. Inside this lounge, they do breakfast like small plates. They usually do some small plates around lunch and, of course, small plates around dinner. There's even a happy hour for alcoholic drinks between 5 and 9 p.m. There's also a concierge located inside the Crown Lounge if you need some sort of help on your cruise. I like to go to the Crown Lounge during breakfast time because they have a Berliner donut there, and you can't get it anywhere else on the ship. So if you want to know what's inside the Crown Lounge and you don't have diamond status, this is your opportunity to see it. You want that for the house?
Yeah, I'm going to take this home.
Yep. Now let's go to the gym.
So now that we have a coffee and we've checked out the snacks in the Crown Lounge, let's head to the gym. One of the things that we always do on Embarkation Day is check out the open house at the gym.
We're in the gym. It's on Deck 6. It goes all the way to the back of the ship. This is one of the classroom areas, like for yoga and spin and that sort of stuff. Nicole and I are probably going to spend a lot of time in the gym, at least in the mornings on this ship, because we have the dining package and we're going to make full use of it. But let's check out the gym. Let's see everything that they have to offer here.
The gym on Star of the Seas is very large, high-tech, obviously brand new machines. They offer a ton of classes, including a room separate just for spin classes. So make sure that you check your cruise compass to see when these classes are taking place if you would like to join in. And if you are looking to do your own thing, they have plenty of weight machines, cardio, and the really nice thing is that a lot of the cardio machines are facing windows so you can look out at the ocean. Since we have the dining package on this cruise, we intend to come to the gym each morning. We will see how that goes.
Star of the Seas has these really cool destination elevators that we first saw on Icon and then Utopia. And they would become in very handy to get where you want to go on this ship. But Nicole, what don't we use?
Elevators.
So it means we got to take the stairs. We're going to Deck 12 to check out the spa. So let's get to climbing. Cool things about taking the stairs is you get to see artwork like this inside the landings in between decks. And this is something that I love about the Icon and the newer classes of Royal Caribbean ships, because on Quantum it was very drab with the artwork. I love this stuff. Rooms are available at 1 p.m. on Embarkation Day, which means if you do have a bag like Nicole or me, which I have a backpack, you're going to have to carry that until your room is ready, unless you pay for the key service, which is additional. And then there's a drop spot for your bags if you have that.
After you've been taking the stairs all week and your back hurts, the spa is a great place to unwind. Star of the Seas has a fantastic spa with tons of amenities. The thermal suite looks amazing. And this is another one of our must-dos on Embarkation Day. We always go to the spa open house to see what they are able to offer. They do anything from manicures, pedicures, hair services for both men and women, facials, massages, and again, they have that amazing thermal suite. If you go to their open house during Embarkation Day, they will actually give you a personalized tour and walk you through the entire spa and what they have to offer. Sometimes you can also even get a better deal because they're trying to get you to book. You are able to purchase spa services either directly through them at the spa or in the Royal Caribbean app. And don't forget, especially if you have a refreshment or deluxe beverage package, the Vitality Cafe is right outside the entrance to the spa, and this is where you can get your smoothies, fresh pressed juices, and they even have an espresso machine. So when there's a long line at the Pearl Cafe, you can pop in here and get a coffee really quick.
On Embarkation Day, we go through all of our must-dos for Embarkation Day. We've done the muster station, we've done the reservations for both the activities and the food. We've done the open houses for the gym, spa, and the kids area. Now it's time for some food. And we have the dining package. So we're gonna head down to deck 6. And we're gonna try Giovanni's Italian Kitchen for lunch. One of our absolute must-dos for Embarkation Day is to get a big plate of food and kick your vacation off right, because the calories don't count when you're on vacation, no matter what anybody tells you. They do actually, but let's pretend they don't. Normally we run up to the Windjammer for this, but on this cruise we decided to purchase the unlimited dining package, which allows us to go to all the specialty dining restaurants every single night of our cruise, including some for lunch on sea days and Embarkation Day. So on Embarkation Day, we're at Giovanni's Italian Kitchen for lunch. Giovanni's Italian Kitchen is the Italian restaurant on board Star of the Seas. It's located on deck 6 on the Royal Promenade, basically right in the center of the ship. Giovanni's Italian Kitchen is very similar to Jamie's Italian, or it's an updated version of Jamie's Italian that is available on some Royal Caribbean ships. This place is known for pasta, pizza, and that rustic Italian atmosphere, just like how Mom would make. We're going to show you what we ate and talk about it, but we don't actually film and talk while we're eating on these ships to be mindful and respectful to other people that are just trying to enjoy a meal. So let's talk about what we ate for lunch on Embarkation Day at Giovanni's Italian Kitchen. For an appetizer, I ordered the truffle caprese salad, which is truffle burrata, arugula, heirloom tomatoes, pesto, balsamic glaze, and fresh basil oil. Overall, I really love burrata. It's one of my favorite cheeses, and it's a great appetizer. I think the burrata on Jamie's Italian that we had on Mariner of the Seas was much better, but I can't really say no to burrata, so if you like burrata and you like burrata appetizers, this one should be for you.
For my appetizer, I ordered the assorted meat and cheese platter for us to share. This comes with chef's selection of Italian meats and cheeses, served with olives, pickles, breadsticks, and focaccia. As someone who really likes cheese and olives, you cannot go wrong with this, and the prosciutto was delicious.
For our main courses, I ordered the pizza, specifically the Giovanni's pizza, which has tomato sauce, mozzarella, ricotta, spicy salami, honey, and pepper. I was not expecting very much from this pizza. In my first bite, I immediately thought it was a Sorrento's pizza. But then the flavors of the honey, the ricotta, the salami, and the overall tomato sauce kind of came through. And it was very good. I ate almost the entire thing for lunch on Embarkation Day, which is not really setting myself up to be the same weight when I got on the ship. The Giovanni's pizza was very good. I highly recommend it.
For my main course, I ordered the spaghetti carbonara. If you've been around for a while, you know that we love carbonara. This comes with pancetta, eggs, Parmigiano Reggiano, and overall was actually pretty good. It was a cheesy pasta dish, so you really can't go wrong with that. But I will say the pasta did not seem like it was fresh pasta, and at Jamie's Italian Kitchen, it was. At Giovanni's, I did also have my first drink of the cruise. I ordered the strawberry peach spritzer, which is Pinot Grigio, strawberry and peach syrup, lemon juice, mint, and club soda served on the rocks. Overall, this was a very refreshing, fruity drink. I enjoyed it. Travis did not like it, but he doesn't like wine, so that makes sense.
For dessert at Giovanni's, I had the cannoli, which is sweet ricotta cream filling in a chocolate sauce. I kind of struggled what to order at Giovanni's for dessert and just settled on the cannoli because it's classic Italian, and I wasn't really impressed with it.
I ordered the Mama's tiramisu. I almost always try to order the tiramisu, even though I usually do not like it because I like coffee. So this is lady fingers soaked in coffee with mascarpone cream, and surprisingly, I actually really liked this. It was probably one of the better tiramisus that we've had. I even got Travis to have some of it, and he hates coffee. So that just tells you it was pretty good.
So that was our lunch at Giovanni's Italian Kitchen on Embarkation Day. Overall, I think it was a good lunch. Kind of surprising that I liked the pizza as much as it did, and I think Nicole was kind of surprised she liked the tiramisu as much as she did.
As we said earlier, one of our must-dos on Embarkation Day is to grab a big plate of food. Usually we do this at the Windjammer, but because we ate at Giovanni's, what do you do after lunch at Giovanni's? Well, you head to the Windjammer. But in all reality, yes, we did go to the Windjammer, but just to show you guys what they had to offer, for once, we did not eat anything. So if you're curious as to what they offer for lunch on Embarkation Day on the newer ships, they had a full array of seafood. They had lobster, crabs, scallops, calamari, shrimp, everything that you could ever want. So it is a fantastic place to go for lunch when you first get on the ship. There's no other way to start off vacation like having some lobster and crab legs at the buffet.
Now it's after 1 o'clock and our room is ready. So let's go check out our room. We booked originally a guaranteed ocean view balcony stateroom, and we were assigned a room on deck 14, room 14640. This room is in the middle of deck 14 on the port side of the ship. Typically, when you book a cruise through Royal Caribbean, you have the opportunity to Royal Up, which is their upgrade program, which means you get to bid on an upgrade. On this cruise, the only thing that we bid on was an infinite ocean view balcony stateroom. And I know the infinite ocean view balcony staterooms are kind of controversial. Is it actually a balcony or is it just a window that you can open, which is kind of a balcony? We've never stayed in an infinite ocean view balcony on any of the ships, and we kind of wanted to try it, but we didn't get any of our bids accepted, so we were in a regular ocean view balcony room. We booked this cruise on cruise.com, and for the two of us on a 7-night cruise, which was the second cruise for Star of the Seas, second 7-night cruise for Star of the Seas, we spent roughly $3,000. And as we mentioned earlier in the video, we did price match that down a couple times. The first time we booked this, it was over $4,000, and I'd much rather pay $3,000 for this cruise. We're in room 14640, which is an ocean view balcony on deck 14, obviously. Nicole, what do we think about our room?
Just got here, but so far, nice and clean. You would hope it would be because it's a new ship. Very spacious, bright colors. I like how they used the light all throughout the room, like on the trim. That makes it feel very bright in here. Balcony looks good. We do have an overhang. So the pool deck is above us, which we'll see if that causes any noise issues or anything like that. But because of the overhang, we should have nice shade. Bathroom's big, spacious, lots of storage. Should be a good room.
Yeah, it looks like a modern cruise ship. They moved the cabinetry on this room over here than like a lot of Royal Caribbean ships where it's like behind the couch or next to the couch. So the room feels wider than normal. And of course, since it's a brand new cruise ship, there's tons of outlets like all over the place, including next to the bed. There's even a weird one on these shelves over here right next to the TV. But overall, it looks like a clean and comfortable room. It's pretty spacious for a normal balcony. I think it should be good for the next 7 days on Star of the Seas. Now, obviously, it's not as good as our room on Icon, which we had splurged for a Sunset Junior Suite. But it'll do. It'll do. I mean, it should be great. I mean, we don't do suites that often. So if you want to know more about the room, make sure you check out the room tour video that we have on our channel. And we'll tell you everything we like and did not like about this room over our 7 days on board Star of the Seas. One thing you should know is that your luggage is not immediately available when you first get to your room. Your stateroom attendant will start putting luggage out in the hallway around 3 p.m. So if there's anything that you're bringing on board that you need before 3 p.m., make sure you carry it on with you. And your luggage might not be right next to your room. It might be down the hall. Ours was pretty far down the hall. I had to go grab it, especially with Nicole's broken wheel on her suitcase, which made it great to roll across the carpet.
Before sail away, we headed down to the Dueling Pianos bar to grab a drink. Our first choice was the Tribute, which is Malibu Original Coconut Rum and Chambord Black Raspberry Liqueur, topped with pineapple juice and a splash of club soda. This was fruity, refreshing, and a perfect sail away cocktail.
A kind of a theme when we go on these trips to Florida, and I guess it's just being in Florida. It was storming, raining really hard outside. And normally on Sail Away, everything is done outside, at least most of it. On the pool deck, you normally have the Let's Get Loud party. There's usually something going out on Surfside. There's tons of stuff going on to celebrate the start of your vacation and pulling away from port. Unfortunately, in the rain, they can't do any of that stuff outside. So they bring it indoors. We saw that they set up the Sail Away party on the promenade right next to the Pearl. And they had live music, they had dancing, they had all kinds of stuff to basically start your vacation off and get you in the party mood. We watched this for a little bit before heading to our balcony so we could watch Sail Away from Port Canaveral kind of outside. Our balcony had an overhang, which meant we weren't going to get drenched from the rain, but we were able to sit out there and watch the left side of the ship go past us all the way up until we were in the ocean. If you're on the right side of the ship, the starboard side, you can see NASA and the Space Force station that's out there. On the other side, which is the side we were on, you can kind of see where there's some viewing platforms and an overlook and stuff that people use to fish from and watch the ships. After the rain calmed down, we decided to pull off one of our other must-dos on Embarkation Day, which is explore the ship. Nobody wants to wait until day 6 and you finally realize that there's a carousel on Surfside or there's a music hall on deck 3 and 4. You should know where everything is as soon as you get on the ship, at least in our opinion, just so you know where you can go and the fun you can have. So let's walk around the ship and show all the different areas. First up, on deck 6 is Playmakers near the back of the ship. This is on the way to Absolute Zero, which is the ice skating rink. Playmakers is the sports bar on board Star of the Seas. The reason why I bring this up is because we were embarking on Sunday. It was actually the first weekend of NFL football. So if you're curious if you can watch football on board your cruise, they had all the games playing inside Playmakers on our sailing. So no matter which team you wanted to watch, there's a very good chance you can watch it in this sports bar.
Up next, we have the Hideaway, which is at the very back of the ship, located on deck 16. This is the adults only area. This is going to be your Vegas party style pool and bar, and it does offer an infinity pool and some of the best views at sea.
We highly recommend going to the Hideaway for just about any type of sail away from any port out there. It gives amazing 270 degree views of the back of the ship, and we love the wake view. Attached to the Hideaway is Thrill Island. Thrill Island is the location of the Category 6 water park, which is the water park on board Star of the Seas. There are 6 water slides, 2 body slides, 2 mat slides, and 2 family raft slides. Up here is also the Flow Rider, the mini golf course, the rock climbing wall, and the Crown's Edge. If you're looking for food or a bar, you have Base Camp.
Next to Thrill Island, we have Chill Island, which is located on deck 15 and 16. On deck 16, we have the Frozen Lime and Coconut, which is where you can get your frozen drinks. My favorite drink there to order is the Melon Blast. It is watermelon and pina colada mixed together, and it is excellent.
On deck 15 at the very front of the ship is the Aquadome. You would recognize the Aquadome by looking at the ship. At the front of it, that big bulbous glass dome that's at the very top. The Aquadome is the location of the AquaTheater, which is where the AquaTheater show takes place. On Star of the Seas, it is called Torque. This is also the location of the Overlook Bar and the Overlook, which oversees the entire front of the ship. Hooked Seafood is here. The Royal Blink Shop, and one of our favorite places, the Aquadome Market, is also located up here in the Aquadome.
Headed down to deck 8, we have Central Park. There are thousands of real-life plants and trees, and this is one of the most peaceful places you can find on board. In addition to that, there are several restaurants such as Chops, Izumi in the Park, if you want some sushi while you sit out and enjoy the peacefulness, and a couple bars such as Lou's Jazz Bar, and a few jewelry shops as well. If you do head inside towards the elevators, this is where you will find another very unique thing to Star of the Seas, Lincoln Park Supper Club. We have reservations for Lincoln Park Supper Club on night 5, and we are very excited to see how it compares to Empire.
On deck 7, at the very back of the ship, is the Surfside neighborhood. This area is made for kids and families. Out here you'll find the arcade, you'll find the Surfside Eatery, the Surfside Bites, Pier 7, which is a specialty dining restaurant, and a few shops. One of our favorite bars is located out here in the Surfside. It's called the Lemon Post. The Lemon Post is known for lemon-based drinks, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic. We ordered the Cherry Lifesaver, which is a non-alcoholic mocktail available at this bar. Cherry Lifesaver includes cherry syrup, cherries, and house-made lemonade. They even include a few gummy sharks and gummy lifesavers in it. This is one of the drinks that I really like. It's a simple mocktail in that little package. Makes me feel like I'm a kid again. It's one of those drinks that I have to order when I am on an Icon class ship. So make sure you order one on Star of the Seas at the Lemon Post.
Continuing down to decks 3 and 4, you will find both the casino and the music hall. The casino has tons of table and slot games, both a smoking and non-smoking section. The music hall spans both decks and is the perfect place to go for a late night dance party or to catch a rock concert at sea.
At the very front of the ship on decks 4 and 5, you'll find the Royal Theater. The Royal Theater is where they do all of the stage and production shows on Star of the Seas. On Star of the Seas, they have a show that we're really excited about seeing because I'm a child of the 80s and I love this movie, and it's Back to the Future, the musical.
Headed back towards the middle of the ship on decks 5 and 6, you will find the Royal Promenade. This is the main shopping entertainment district on board Star of the Seas. This is where you will find all of your shopping, the Pearl Cafe, which is the perfect place to grab a coffee, and then the Dueling Pianos bar, along with Boleros, the Schooner Bar, Giovanni's Italian Kitchen, Spotlight Karaoke, the Attic, and many more. This is also where you will find your late night pizza at Sorrento's.
We went back to our room to get ready for dinner. And one of the cool things about being on a cruise ship, especially at sea, are the sunsets. We had an amazing sunset on Embarkation Day. It was worth sitting out there for a little bit just to watch the sun go down. We had reservations for Chops at 8 p.m. on Embarkation Day, so that's what we were getting ready for. Let's head over to Chops, which is located in Central Park on deck 8.
We're going to dinner. We're eating at Chops tonight. We have an 8 p.m. reservation. What are you going to order, Nicole?
Steak.
Steak. Of course, it's a steakhouse. We didn't know Chops is the steakhouse on Star of the Seas and almost all of the Royal Caribbean ships. So let's go get steak, okay, Nicole?
Okay.
Steak from the steak shop?
From the steak shop.
When you eat at a specialty dining restaurant like Chops, you essentially get an appetizer, a main course, and a dessert. And a secret from us is you could probably order more than that, and nobody's going to tell you not to. For the appetizer, I ordered the wedge salad, and I love wedge salads. This is iceberg lettuce, blue cheese crumbles, and smoked bacon. The lettuce was crisp. The blue cheese dressing is excellent, and of course, you can't go wrong with smoked bacon on a salad. I recommend the wedge salad, but again, I did have better versions of this on, say, Mariner of the Seas in the past.
For my appetizer, I ordered the pan-seared crab cake, which is a crab cake with chipotle aioli, fresh herbs, and a corn salsa. I thought this was excellent. The chipotle aioli had just enough spice, and I would order this again.
At a restaurant like Chops, your mains are normally steak, and that's what we ordered. But you do get a selection of sides that you can order from, and Nicole and I don't usually order a bunch of them. We just ordered the tater tots, which are cheesy tater tots. They have creme fraiche and horseradish with them. They are almost like a small mozzarella stick with a different type of cheese in them. They're pretty good. Chops offers a USDA Prime 16-ounce bone-in cut ribeye that is well marbled for peak flavor and juicy deliciousness. That's what it says in the menu. Cut of ribeye that I got on this night was a lot fattier and a lot stringier than a normal ribeye that I would get at a steakhouse. It didn't feel as though it was USDA Prime. It was still good. It had great flavor, and obviously with a ton of fat content, it does meet what a ribeye should be, but it didn't feel as though it was a top-notch steak as it describes on the menu. I still ate it. I love steak. I love ribeyes.
I ordered the filet, which is 9 ounces of their most tender cut of lean Midwestern beef. And at Chops, they do give you a selection of sauces. You have a choice between red wine, peppercorn, and Bordeaux sauce. They will let you have all 3 of them. The Bordeaux is my favorite.
For dessert, I ordered the warm apple pie a la mode, which is vanilla ice cream, salted caramel sauce, of course, with a hot apple pie. Kind of a theme for this evening at Chops is it wasn't good as our meal at Mariner of the Seas, at least for me, and it was the same thing for the apple pie. The apple pie was kind of stale.
At Chops, one of my favorite desserts is the New York cheesecake. It has fresh raspberries and lemon confit on top of it, and I always order this. Because I couldn't decide, I did also get the key lime meringue pie with a graham cracker crust, and it was super tart. Meringue was great, and the cheesecake was good as always.
Overall, I say our night at Chops was decent. It's a specialty dining restaurant. We love steak, and they have good food there. As I said earlier, it wasn't as good as Chops on Mariner of the Seas, but it was still better than what you would get in the main dining room. So far, it's a decent start for the specialty dining menu and the specialty dining package that we have. I just hope the rest of the restaurants on board are better than what we kind of experienced on night one. After dinner, we headed over to the main theater because we had one of our first shows that we had reserved for a reservation. And it was Hector is Magic, a headliner act, of course in the main theater. On your cruise, you'll have several, usually 2, if not 3, headliner acts that take place throughout your cruise. You can make reservations for these in the Royal Caribbean app, and typically this allows you to get into the theater early. If you don't get a reservation, don't worry. They do allow walk-ins. They just have to make sure that everybody that did have a reservation gets into the theater first and they have room. First show in the Royal Theater that we saw tonight was Hector is Magic, which is a magician named Hector Ruiz. What'd you think, Nicole?
He had some funny jokes. It was okay. Not my favorite show. It's never a good time taking Travis to see a magician because he hates them all.
I don't hate them all. I mean, I really like Penn and Teller.
Okay, he likes 2.
But the cruise ship magician, though, no, I'm not usually a fan of. I mean, it was better than Jamie Allen, but the illusions aren't all that great. It just wasn't for me. I'm not going to say he was awful. It just wasn't for me. We ran back to Deck 6 at the very back and went to the Absolute Zero ice skating rink because they were doing something that we always like to watch. It was the laser tag, which on Star of the Seas is themed to Atlantis, like the battle for Atlantis. If you're interested in doing this, make sure you get there early. The line was pretty long, and they usually allow you to play for about 10 to 15 minutes, and they keep score and all that. It looked like a lot of fun, but we couldn't stay too long because we had another show to go to.
After the laser tag, we had to run up to Deck 15 at the front of the ship to go to the Aquadome to see the AquaTheater show Torque. This is a car-themed show on Star of the Seas, and it features high dives, motorcycles, and divers even jump from the very top of the ship. We did want to make sure that we got there early because the AquaTheater venue is limited seating, and we wanted to make sure that we got a good seat. And plus, one of the improvements they made on Star of the Seas from Icon was they added seats that actually have backrests. So we wanted to get a nice up-close seat with a backrest. So we just got back from watching the AquaTheater show in the Aquadome, Torque. Travis, what did you think?
I honestly, I thought it was one of the coolest AquaTheater shows that we've seen on any Royal Caribbean ship. I thought it was better than the show on Icon of the Seas. The music was unbelievable. If you go back in time to college-age Travis, he would be really happy with the music on this show. It had Metallica, it had Sugar Ray, it had Black Keys, it had Limp Bizkit. Who else am I missing there?
I don't know.
James Brown. There was a lot of good music in this show, and it's all car-themed, which I'm kind of a car guy when I'm not doing this stuff. So, yeah, it was really cool. And the one thing that was super awesome in it, and it's one of those moments where you're like, this is happening on a cruise ship, and it's like a stunts with motorcycles and an AquaTheater show. Like, that's just incredible. It was unbelievable. I really liked it. But, I mean, it doesn't really matter what I think. What did you think, Nicole?
I really enjoyed it. We always like the AquaTheater shows. They're always great. The high dives are incredible. The cast really seemed to have a lot of fun with it, which is always good to see. Overall, really good show.
Yeah, the one thing I always miss on the Aquadome is I never get the guy falling from the very, very top of it. Not falling, but jumping.
I
But
got him on Icon.
I miss him every time. That's a really far drop, and then it's just out of nowhere, just a dude out of nowhere.
And they only do it once per show.
And it's right at the beginning. So if you're looking to see the guy jump off the circle at the top of the Aquadome, make sure you pay attention at the very beginning of the actual show. Because it just happens. You're like, oh, where'd that guy come from?
And that's it.
After the show, we ran down to the Royal Promenade on deck 6 and went to the Dueling Pianos bar because we wanted to order a couple of drinks that we are a big fan of. These were some of our favorite drinks on Icon of the Seas.
I ordered the 8-ball, which is gin, coconut rum, watermelon syrup, and grapefruit juice. I tend to order this one quite frequently on Royal Caribbean because I do enjoy it. Pretty much anything with coconut rum is usually pretty good in my book.
We ordered the Metalla liqueur, which is like Metallica with liquor at the very end of it, which is vanilla vodka, raspberry liqueur, and pineapple juice topped with cranberry juice. And of course, I love cranberry juice and the overall vanilla flavor of this drink. It's excellent. Highly recommend the Metalla liqueur.
Okay, it's the end of the night. Back in our room. It's after midnight. We've seen shows today. We've done all kinds of stuff. We ate a lot of food, way too much for Embarkation Day. One thing I will say about Star of the Sea so far is there's not a lot of people on this ship. I don't know if Royal Caribbean's running this ship at reduced capacity because it's the second full paid-for cruise, or if it's just there's so much stuff going on that people are spread out everywhere. But we went down to the nightclub and there was hardly anybody there. We went in the AquaTheater show. It was only about half full, like the entire section in front of us was empty. The Royal Theater was kind of full, but I guess it was the only showing tonight, so it makes sense. And then when you're walking around the promenade and like other spaces, it doesn't feel full at all. When you get on a ship like this and it's got 10,000 people, as you see, or it's on somebody's thumbnail on our YouTube video, you expect it to be ridiculously busy everywhere you go. But either Royal Caribbean's really good at traffic management, or the ship is really good at traffic management, or the ship's not 100% full. Either one of those things, but there's plenty of room, and we don't feel like we're jam-packed and stuck around 10 million people everywhere we go. I mean, I think it's pretty cool. Good job with Royal Caribbean.
Yeah, the schooner bar was empty. There was no one in there but the poor bartender.
They look very bored, but at the same point, they're probably so busy they want it to be that way. Like, please go to a different bar. I don't want to make a drink. But even right now, you go down to the Pearl, you can take as many pictures as you want. So as a tip, don't rush over there when everybody else is there. Wait until later in the evening, and there's pretty much nobody at the Pearl. You can take all the photos you want. Now, first full day on Star of the Seas, just as a quick recap, what'd you think?
So far, really enjoying it. Icon was my favorite ship. We will see if it still is after this.
Yeah, I've been watching these shows going, does this beat Icon? Or going places and eating food, the same exact thing. It's going to be very close to see how Star stacks up. This ship is pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie, I've enjoyed a lot of it. And today went by so fast. I wasn't expecting it to be after midnight, and it was pretty much go since since we got on the ship. We had Giovanni's, we had Chops, we had snacks all over the place. We saw 2 shows. We went to the Dueling Pianos. We went to the nightclub. I mean, there's something to do every minute you're on the ship. We'll just see how good tomorrow is, too, because we're in Coco Cay tomorrow. Place we've been a lot, but we'll see how it is on Star.
And on Embarkation Day, there is a nightclub in the music hall late at night. And we always make sure we want to check these out, at least to check out the atmosphere and how cool it is and how many people are engaged in dancing and having a good time on the cruise ship.
We like to give tips on things to bring on your cruise to make your room better or your trip better or any of that sort of stuff. So we'll talk about a couple things that we brought with us that allow us to do more with our room. So first up, I have a wireless charger, and this wireless charger allows me to charge my phone, my AirPods, and my Apple Watch all at the same time, and it's foldable, and it folds very flat. It's by Anchor. We'll link this in our storefront on Amazon, so you can, if you're looking for something like this and you want it to be travel ready and small and portable, this is something that works really, really well. And it fits on the nightstand over by the bed. I actually really like it. Normally I bring my big charging pad, and this one's a lot smaller and it fit a lot more stuff in my bag because I wasn't carrying something that was bigger. The other thing that we brought, and it's something we normally bring because we have a lot of devices that we charge. We have cell phones, we have cameras, GoPro, like just from a bunch of random stuff, or microphones, you name it. We need extra outlets, and this room has a decent amount. Like there's USB-A, and there's USB-A and C, USB-A, and there's a couple over here on the desk. But the cool thing with this thing is it converts the European outlet into 2 USB-As and 2 USB-Cs. We talked about this on Mariner of the Seas and a little bit on Quantum of the Seas, but this thing allows us to charge more devices, and it charges pretty quickly as well. We recommend this because it's Royal Caribbean compliant. It doesn't have another outlet, which they will confiscate if you try to bring those on the ship. So this is not that expensive, and it does a really good job.
Last, I have what I use, which is a charger that has both USB-C and A, so I can be charging both of my phones, my AirPods, all at the same time, and then a built-in watch charger, so I don't have to worry about bringing that cable. It just pops right on top, and super small, easy to bring with me. I actually really like this.
Yeah, we have other stuff that we brought with us, and a couple things we forgot at home that we normally use. We'll talk about those in subsequent videos later in this series as well. But everything.
Sorrento's Pizza is one of our favorite ways to end the night on our cruise. It is located on Deck 5, and it is open until 3 a.m., so it is a great place to go after you're done with the club. They usually offer a couple different varieties of pizza, usually a pizza of the day, and then our go-to, pepperoni. You can't go wrong.
Now it is the end of the evening, and we're going to wrap this video up because Embarkation Day has been incredible. And if you can't tell by my voice or by the way that we look, we're super tired, and it's time for bed. But first, it's always a tradition. You go to the Pearl Cafe or the Royal Promenade, Promenade Cafe, all that sort of stuff, and you got to end the night a couple slices of Sorrento pizza and as many snacks as you can fit on a plate from the Pearl Cafe. We have toffee, cupcake, cookies, a chocolate cake, and a pepperoni pizza. We're going to eat as much of this as we can, go to bed, and probably get up and go to the gym because
We have to.
we already feel like we need to go to the gym. But we'll see you tomorrow. That'll wrap up Embarkation Day aboard Star of the Seas. If you have any questions about this ship, which is incredible, our time on this ship, or anything else on this channel, make sure you leave those in the comment section below. And again, as always, if you want to support our channel, the easiest way to do that is to hit like on this video, especially if you liked it, and subscribe to our channel for more. If you need us, we're going to be eating snacks and then going to bed. I'm Travis.
I'm Nicole.
Thanks so much for watching.
Thank you for coming to Travis's TED Talk about magicians.
Yeah, give me an actual magician on a ship, please. I don't know. It just wasn't for me. I'm not trying to be negative. This ship's been great. We call this side of the gym Nicole's Corner because it's got all the ellipticals and treadmills, and I guarantee you'll find her over here when she's working out in the morning. That's what she does.
Making a mess.
One really cool thing that happened to us while we were at the AquaTheater is the people next to us were fighting with the people behind them. Just remember, if you're going to one of these shows, it's for fun. There's no need for any of that sort of stuff. I don't care how many drinks you've had tonight. Just have fun. It's an AquaTheater. It was actually Nicole. She started all of it.
I finished it too.
Yeah, she did. She slapped the guy. And then told them to act their age, not their shoe size, as my mom would used to say. I don't know. It was weird.
Is that not good enough?